Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, today I want to give you a few tips on navigation because I kind of see life as like us being a ship on the sea, and it's going to be calm weather, it's going to be stormy weather, etc. So what can we do? We are here in form. We're on this ship on the sea with, at the mercy of what comes. Or are we? We have with human design the standard tools. You know your type, you know your strategy and authority. So I'm not going to go through all that, except to say, if you're a generator, there's got to be a response in you before you get into something. There has to be the physicality of your energy rising towards something before you know if it's any good for you or not. And if you're emotional, then the emotional feelings will have to feel into that rising of energy over time. And projectors, who is around you? Who is around you? Manifestors, are you making an impact? Reflectors, where the hell are you? Are you in the right place? Are you comfortable where you are? Are you being recognized for the being that you are? Beyond that, we all get into choppy waters. And what I found is, there's got to be some kind of wriggle room. But before you can have wriggle room, you've got to recognize what's going on. So one of the big questions is who or what is taking up your time? And there needs to be a kind of, or at least for me, a kind of reflection in the now while I'm with that person or while I'm in whatever I'm doing, to actually see it, to go, what the hell am I doing? Is this working for me in whatever way it may be? And you might have to have that self-reflection several times before you actually do something about it. And whatever the situation, once you realize it is what it is, it's then about finding the wriggle room to expand in your own life, in your own way. Whether that's giving yourself an extra hour in the morning, whether it's stopping doing something that is taking up your time that is not necessary, whatever it may be. But you can also use human design in another way. You can see that, okay, you get a certain amount of self-reflection. It is you after all. Everything that is in you is kind of, it's you. So you don't really see it until you see it, if you know what I mean. However, there are companionship channels. There are certain things that you have in you that other people also have. And by spending time with them, you get to see yourself through them, which is quite a fascinating thing. This week, for example, I've seen a few reflections of myself. I had the pleasure of doing a reading with a juxtaposition cross of limitation, with the 60th gate and the 50th gate exactly where I've got them, and in the same quarter, the quarter of mutation. So it was really fascinating to see this being that is like the bridge from my right angle through to the transpersonal, to actually meet one of these beings and to see how they live and to see myself in that, but also to appreciate them. So if you know what you've got in you, you can always find those people using human design who have the same channel. Might be in a different frequency, might be a different life, but there will be that similarity. And that can be very, very useful. And the other thing is, we believe our own excuses, when we've got obstacles, when we've got weight on us that we have to deal with this and we have to deal with that, living in the material world. And it's easy to say, oh, well, look, I've looked at my design and all my energy is down here and it doesn't reach the throat, therefore there's nothing I can do. But that's really not true. On Friday, I met a musician with the 360 and the 9th gate. So the channel of mutation, and the 9th gate, the channel of intensity, something I share myself, but everything else open. There was no particular direction in this being. There's an open throat, an open head, open ajna, open G, open spleen, open solar plex, open will, you know, I mean, a lot of openness. But that mutative, innovative energy, used correctly, responded to correctly, this guy is an amazing musician of many different genres, you know, but he's become that through living his design. So I don't believe any reason why we shouldn't be happy in this life, where we shouldn't move forward in this life, because I do see in the readings that I've done in over the last 27 years, different perspectives in people's lives. And I've seen all kinds of lifestyles, all kinds of situations. And it has given me a larger perspective on how life can be led and, you know, what gets in the way and how people can overcome it. And one of the things that I've found repeatedly is that those people that have overcome whatever it is, it's because they've decided they will deal with it. They will deal with it because if they don't deal with it, it deals with you. The other day I had a reading with someone who was 8 years in his sobriety, having been a real alcoholic and, you know, at the bottom of the living life, existing in life, being taken over by the powerful alcohol. And yet here he is 8 years later with 3 children, with a loving wife, enjoying his life, living very much according to his design, I have to say. You know, it's like, whoa, now that is interesting. You know, sometimes life comes and smacks us in the face and we need it. We need it. But that doesn't mean we can't get up and we can't get through it. We do need it. We do need those storms sometimes on the ship. You know, we do need the icy water. We do need the being lost in the fog. You know, it's not all sunlight out there. And we need to get through it. It's exhilarating to get through it. But it's really about being you in it. It's also that I've seen people get themselves out of difficult situations because they remain open to influence without letting that influence make decisions for them. But to be open to learning from others, to be open to the forces that come to you wherever you are, whatever the situation is. There are always forces around. There is always the outside that comes in. And it doesn't have to necessarily be human either. You know, it can be a ray of sunshine when you're cold and wet, you know, whatever it is that moves us. But we have to be open to the influence without letting it dictate our decisions. And without our mind interpreting it as well, oh, this must be a sign, you know. Yeah, what is there a response? Is there an invitation? You know, is there a path towards impact? These are the things that we have to bear in mind. And finally, the most important thing of all, hidden there in the 10th gate of behavior, you know, coming out in force in the 3828, is never, ever, ever give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. You know, this guy who was drunk for so long and most of his friends are dead, got himself out. Somehow, by some miracle, he got through. And as a result of that, he knows what life, the quality of life can be. He knows what it can be in the worst. He knows what it can be in the best. Don't get lost in the past. That's another one. Don't get lost in the past. You know, the past is very enticing. You know, we can spend a lot of our time thinking about what was. And yet we are moving on a trajectory in terms of this body, and this body will age, you know, and you're here to move forward in that. At least that's what I believe. So it's really about realizing that we're here in this body to live this life, to move forward. And sometimes other people are really important for us to be able to recognize ourselves you know, in what our power can be, in what our influence can be. And don't let anything get in your way. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.